Let us begin with our prayer before study. Got some cool artwork today. All right, are we all ready? Christ, my Lord, the giver of light and wisdom, who opened the eyes of the blind man and transformed the fishermen into wise heralds and teachers of the gospel through the coming of the Holy Spirit, shine also in my mind the light of the grace of the Holy Spirit. Grant me discernment, understanding, and wisdom in learning. Enable me to complete my assignments and to abound in every good work, for to you I give honor and glory. Amen. Most blessed Lord, send the grace of your Holy Spirit on me to strengthen me, that I may learn well the subject I am about to study, and by it become a better person, for your glory, the comfort of my family, and the benefit of your church and our nation. Amen. All right. Let us open our books to this week's questions, which are on page 49. But before we do that, I would like to take a look at another round of artwork. Yes. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Let's do papers first. I have papers for you, right? Yeah. Okay, why don't you just send your papers in to Ben and Bren, and then they can hand them to me, and then we will mix yours up.
What? Oh, you're just yeah, it's supposed to be one paragraph. Yeah, mine. Oh, mine is
Yes, it was one paragraph. Oh, I said you could do both if you wanted.
It was one paragraph, but then it separated it to edit.
Oh, I did both.
Oh, I see. Yes.
I did both in one paragraph.
That's fine. That's fine. No, that was my intent.
Okay.
And what is the problem? Would you like to discuss it, or is it something you want me to wait and read it first?
Oh, no, just I have assistants. Yeah, who helped you.
This is fine. Assistance is not bad.
No, you were making
Assistant is
No.
Yes.
Guys, settle down. You can change his ideas. Luke is not an oracle. Hope he's not watching this. Not you, Luke. The other Luke. Okay, let me take a look here. This is, I need to remind myself. Okay, conflicts. This is the one I'm giving back to you. So for some of you, I may have said, oh, we could say this, or we could expand it that way. It's not. It is correction, but it's more leading you in the right direction, okay? Because sometimes, and you may have noticed that sometimes your paragraphs are a little short. What do I do about that? Well, my ideas are to give you. I didn't find everybody's figures of speech. I should always, at this point, I need to find those. Okay, well, do not forget to mark them. Okay, I have a could you show me? It's your P1, Bryn. It's a could you show me? I have a double Ann and a Christian. Okay. Can you show me? Not sure. This is okay. Just be sure that when you mark them, you know what you meant. Sometimes marking them while you're writing the paper is good, unless you're typing it and printing it out, and then you have to mark them later. Any questions about anything I wrote on your paper? Okay.
This is an ask.
What's it say?
Ask me.
Oh, it says ask me. That was the question. All right, can you hand it to me? Thank you. Okay. Oh, do you mind if I say it?
No.
Is it okay? So what this was an attempt at was 3 prepositional phrases. I can see that. And I'm going to read it, and I'm going to see if any of you can hear or tell why that's not what this is. It's not 3 prepositional phrases. It's okay. It's okay. You did give me permission. Okay. Then the money could be used to give to the lakemen for food and shelter. To give to the lakemen for food and shelter. There's something wrong with that, Ben.
To give to the lakemen as one?
No. That is, one of those is not a prepositional phrase.
The lakeman, because to give the lakeman food.
One of those 3 is not a prepositional phrase. Do you think you know, Christian? Or is that hand just kind of hanging out?
Yeah, just hanging out.
Okay. To give to the lakemen for food and shelter. One of them is not a prepositional phrase.
For food and shelter?
Say again.
For food and shelter?
No, that's a fine prepositional phrase. To give. To give is an infinitive. It's a verbal form. Though my Latin students, you've been talking about infinitives all year. To give, to love, to sleep, to eat. It's not a prepositional phrase, it's an infinitive. When you have the word to with a verb form, it's not. Because it's not, to the lakemen. Where is it going? Towards the lakemen. To give. Where's it going? Give. You see that doesn't make sense? It's an infinitive. That is what I wanted to point out. Okay.
It is oh, here's one phrase, and here's the other phrase, and here's the third phrase.
Okay, except that would be that'd be a P2, right?
The P2
Okay. Where's your P1?
was, I just wrote stone. It was supposed to be Arkenstone and Markwood and Bilbo, 3 names. But I just ended up writing stone.
Oh, so you ended up leaving it out. Okay. Yeah, I saw the P2. I just wasn't sure on the P1. Okay. Dorothy Mills, in our continued look at artists, and I'm telling you, this guy, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to see some of this stuff, and I'm just so excited. Everybody knows him, and you probably know him for one particular thing, maybe not. I will leave you not longer in suspense. Michelangelo. Do we all know Michelangelo?
I see one.
And what do we, Michelangelo is fine. What is he known for?
Statue making?
Okay, statue making.
Painting, that one ginormous painting.
Okay, he did paint a ginormous painting. He also painted something else amazing. The ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Oh, okay, I didn't know that was...
Ceiling, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't hear the ceiling. I just heard ginormous. Dorothy Mills tells us this. Michelangelo was not only an architect, he was also a painter, a sculptor, and a poet. His greatest paintings are the frescoes in the Sistine Chapel. He also designed St. Peter's Basilica. He didn't build it, he designed it. He's an architect. And I'm going to get to see some of his work. I am just very excited. Let's take a look first at sculpture, because Christian said sculpture. I did not bring in the whole sculpture. This is just the head of David. David is 17 feet tall. Just FYI. It's a really big statue. The statue is at a museum in Florence. I already have tickets to go see this statue in May. He's not wearing any clothes, so I did not bring the whole thing, although I have a book with the whole thing, so maybe you can see him from a distance. The story is that there was this piece of marble. I don't know if you know this. There's a place in northern Italy, Carrara, that has amazing marble. I mean, beautiful, beautiful, to polish and carve and use for all sorts of things you might use marble for. But there was this piece, and it had been cut, and it hadn't been used because there was a flaw in it in one weird spot. It was really big, and nobody knew what to do with it. And Michelangelo took it, and he turned it into David. This is an amazing statue, but in my opinion, it is not the most amazing, yes.
Question.
Yes.
Like, can you see the flaw in the statue?
No, because apparently he worked around it. He removed that part. He used to say, I believe this is Michelangelo, that he could see the figure in the marble, and he would just remove the parts of the marble that were extraneous, that he didn't need. And so I believe, Luke, I think, okay, this is me speculating now. I think he removed that part. He was able to see how he could create this statue and not use that part.
Do you know like where it was?
No, you know what? I don't know anything about it. And how about I look it up? I brought this little children's book, which my kids and I used to read, but it's got a lot of really good information in it. Children's books have amazing amounts of information. Let's see what it says. Except the pages are falling out. Oh my goodness. It does not say. It says the artist designed his sculpture to fit within the botched block. So the block with the flaw. In other words, I read that to mean he removed it. Okay, he's not wearing clothes, but I'm going to show you anyway. Okay, so you could avert your eyes if it offends you. But this is the entire statue. It's 17 feet tall. Down here, then the little square next to it, there's a person and the statue. The black thing in that little square is a person, and that's the statue. Oh my goodness. So this is amazing, but I don't think it's the most amazing. There's another statue that he did that I'm going to get to see, and it's in St. Peter's. You can usually see it for free, but you might have to wait in a very long line. And it is his Pietà. Pietà is the Italian word for pity. And it specifically in art, it refers to a picture of Mary cradling her dead son after he's been taken off the cross. And there's lots of versions of this. This one, though, is probably the most famous. I just can't wait to see this in person. This is stone. This is a piece of marble. Pass it around. You got to see it up close. If it's that beautiful in a picture, I can't imagine what it's going to be like in person. Maybe you ladies can look at it together, and maybe you can go down and kind of look at it in pairs. It looks like you could touch it and her clothes would be soft. How can that be a piece of marble? It's beautiful. So this is one thing. This is one of his skills. And I feel like if he had only done those, he'd be famous today. But that is not all he did. He also painted, and as Ben talked about, he painted the chapel, or the chapel ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, it's called Sistine because it was Pope Sextus the something. I don't remember which number, okay? Sistine means having to do with Sextus. It's Latin. You could just look at there. It's a whole bunch of pictures. It's the entire story of the creation and fall is on this ceiling. And again, I've got a close-up, but let's take a look. Okay, here, I'm just going to come along because pages are falling out. This is looking up at the ceiling. Standing on the ground looking up at the ceiling. I know. I know. And each of the panels in the middle has to do with the creation and fall. On the outside are pictures of prophets from the Old Testament and Old Testament scenes, as well as sibyls, the Roman and Greek fortune tellers. And you might say, well, why would he put that on there? Because they also, in their way, foretold the coming of Christ. This is the ceiling. If you're looking up at the ceiling, this is what the ceiling looks like.
You're going there?
Yeah. Apparently, it's always really full, and it's hard to stand and look. But I'm going in the first group, so I'm hoping it won't be so full. Yeah, so the whole center is the story of the creation and fall. And then on the outside are sibyls and prophets. And this is not the only thing that he did in there. I wonder if it's in here. He came back later. Oh, it's not in here. Oh, here it is. And he painted an entire wall at one end of the Sistine Chapel, which is the Last Judgment. It's the wall. So it's, I don't know, 20 feet, 30 feet tall. It doesn't really have dimensions here. I'll come back around with this. So when you go into the Sistine Chapel, here, this, guys. He painted this on one wall later of the Sistine Chapel. It's Jesus coming back and the judgment. So again, if he only had painted this and the chapel, he'd be famous. But no. This is the Last Judgment. It's the wall, and not a low wall like these walls. It's a wall. And yeah, I wish all my art books are so heavy, or I would bring them in and I have close-ups of it. But I don't know how good a picture I'm going to get. I also don't know what the rules about pictures are. Okay, so if he had done that, he would be famous. But then he also designed the dome and the structure of the current St. Peter's, where his Pieta statue is located currently. How can one person be so talented? So this is a close-up of the ceiling. This is one picture. This is the prophet Jeremiah, I believe. It's not written on the back. So this is just one of the pictures on the ceiling. I know. Well, not hundreds, but dozens. The most this is also on the ceiling. And yeah, the famous one, I don't know if it's in here. You've all seen it. It's God's finger touching Adam's finger.
Oh, yeah.
Why would it not be in here? And I didn't bring it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a very famous picture, and you've seen it before. This is in the middle of the ceiling.
Are they actually touching fingers?
What?
Are they actually touching?
I think so, or about to. It's God giving Adam that spark of life that makes him human. And he breathed into him the breath of life, and he became a living soul. And he created him in his image and his likeness. That is Michelangelo. I'm very excited to be able to see some of his work close up. So if you're coming back for classes next year, I'll tell you all about it. Or if you're not, you can call me anyway, and I'll tell you all about it. Because who doesn't want to talk about their fun vacations? All right, anything else you guys know about Michelangelo that I didn't add? So he just did it all. And apparently he's buried in Florence. You can go visit his tomb. He designed the tomb for Pope Julius II. He never did get it finished because Pope Julius kept telling him to go do something else. You know, and he had designed it. He was going to have like 12 statues around it, and there's only 3 that he got done. Amazing. All right. let us take a sharp turn away from Italy and art and talk about England, and specifically Henry VIII, although our chapter begins with Henry VII. So let me just give you a little, this is the very, very rapid version, okay? Because it might have confused you at the beginning of the chapter. Let me read. The year 1485 marked a turning point in English history, and that year Henry Tudor, descendant through his mother of John of Gaunt, defeated and slew Richard III in the Battle of Bosworth Field and became Henry VII. What is going on here? Here's what happened. There were two families in England, the family of Lancaster and the family of York. And they both were descended from kings. So guess what happens next? Oh, yeah, you totally know what happens next. They're going to fight because everybody wants to be king. So this fight went back and forth, and it just so happened that the symbol of one of the families was a white rose, and the symbol of the other was a red rose. And so they refer to this as the Wars of the Roses. There were no actual roses involved in the fighting when you hear of the War of the Roses. It means the Lancaster and York. And they fought, and they fought, and they killed each other on both sides. Finally, a guy took over, Edward. They beat the other side, and he was York, on the York side. And he had two sons, and it looked like there was going to be a dynasty, and da-da-da. He wasn't very well. He just wasn't very well, which is not good. And his kids were little. And he had two brothers, and he had a brother named Richard. Richard is become very famous because Shakespeare decided to write a play about this Richard. And Richard has a very bad reputation because another writer later said he was a dirty, rotten scoundrel, which very likely is the truth. And so he decided he was going to be king. And he waited around. Okay, this is partly the Shakespeare version, partly history, partly we're not sure, okay? This is a mashup. His brother Edward dies, and the two sons are young. But one of them, the eldest, should be king, right? And Richard says this. He's like, oh, they're so young. Here's what we're going to do. We need to take care of them. Somebody needs to take care of them. Let's take them to London for the coronation. Let's take them to the Tower of London. Now, Tower of London is often used as prison, but it wasn't always a prison. It was sometimes just a secure location. Okay? So there wasn't anything, it's not the same as saying I'm throwing them in prison, right? I'm taking them to the Tower of London. It's fine. They mysteriously disappeared. And for years, I mean, there's pretty much no doubt somebody killed them. Because where were they going to go? Somebody killed them and got rid of the bodies. And like, okay, we think it was Richard.
I think I read a book on this.
Okay. Unclear, unknown, except sometime in the last 20 years, so fairly recently, they were doing some renovations on the Tower of London, and there was an old well, and they found two skeletons in the well.
Little ones?
Yeah, not grown. Yeah, and they're 99.9% sure. Yeah, they're known as the princes in the tower, right? That's the prince of the tower. Somebody killed him and threw him down a well.
Or they threw down the well to kill them.
Or threw them down the well to kill them. So Richard, you can see what happens next. Oh, by the way, did I mention that Richard brought up charges against his other brother and had him executed? Yeah. So now Richard is in charge. He marries strategically someone from the other side, the Lancaster side, I believe, so that he can take over. And it's just kind of a reign of terror. And nobody likes it. And finally, a daughter of Edward, who died because he was sick, Richard's niece. They get it set up so she can marry a guy who's run off to France and is of the Lancaster family. And he comes over and they get married and he becomes Henry VII. And that's what's happening in that first paragraph of Dorothy Mills. It's crazy. Richard III apparently had some sort of spinal deformity, and he was a hunchback, which is the thing. Not like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, maybe, but he had a protrusion on his back, on his shoulder. And I think I've told you guys that for years that there was speculation, could a guy with that problem have fought in battles? Because there's evidence that he fought in battles. Finally, he went out to defend himself at the Battle of Bosworth Field, and he died there because Henry VII was coming to take over. But did I tell you the story about finding the modern guy, and training him to fight? I didn't tell you the best part. So about sometime in the last 20 years, this was too, maybe 30 years, they were excavating an area. They dug up a parking lot. They were going to repave it or something like that, and there were burials underneath, and they found Richard III, his body. And apparently it was written on the coffin, or there were things in there with him, and they knew it was Richard III. And he had the deformity. His skeleton had the deformity. Because people used to say, oh, maybe that's just a made-up thing. Like he was this horrible monster and he was a hunchback. No, he really was. And they said, well, wait a minute. Could somebody like that ride on horseback and wear armor and fight? So this deformity that he had has a name. It's a genetic issue. And they found someone in modern-day England with the same issue. And they asked him, would you be willing to train and see if you can ride on horseback wearing armor and fight? If we made specialized armor to fit you? I said, okay, that sounds fun. So they trained this guy, to ride on a horse and slash the heads off dummies, mannequins in the fields, and he did it. He could do it. And so they said, okay, and apparently he was quite good. I saw this was a PBS show many years ago, and they showed him going out there for his test, and they said, yeah, somebody with that physical deformity actually could fight. All right, that was a very long story. Bryn, you were going to say something.
You said Edward's daughter married someone. Is it Arthur?
Oh no, this is later. That was the guy who became Henry VII. He had been in France, and he came, and they conquered Richard. Okay, so this is all we need to know about that. The reason he's important for us is these two, Henry VII and this daughter, are the parents of Henry VIII. And the Wars of the Roses are over. Everything is secure. Henry's going to be the king. And the first question I asked you guys was, what was the general feeling in England when Henry VIII came to the throne? Yeah.
Party.
Party. Yes, that sums it up. Does anybody want to add to that?
Because of all the money his father saved.
Oh, yes. Well, actually, did it say his father saved a lot of money, or his father spent a lot of money?
His father saved a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Miss Richard,
Okay.
and it all.
Oh, yes. Henry VII believed that to be self-supporting was one of the most important ways in which a country could be powerful. There we go. So, yes, we have heaven laughs and the earth rejoices. Everything is full of milk and honey and nectar. Avarice has fled the country. What is avarice?
Hate.
It is not hate. It is another bad character.
Jealous.
Greed. Avarice. Avarice is another word for greed. Our king is not after gold or gems or precious metals, but virtue, glory, and immortality. All right. Everybody was really, really happy. Now, Henry hadn't been the oldest son. He had an older brother named Arthur. But Arthur got sick and died. And so suddenly Henry is on the top of the list. This is Henry VIII. This is going to be Henry VIII. And you know what? At first, he did seem great. In fact, this is the next question I asked you. How did Henry earn the title Defender of the Faith, Christian?
He wrote a book about upholding the doctrine of the seven sacraments.
Yes. Martin Luther, all this stuff's happening at the same time, and we haven't talked about that yet, but Martin Luther has been complaining in Germany about certain doctrines of the church, and Henry actually wrote a treatise, an essay defending the church, and the Pope awarded him with the title Defender of the Faith. He was very well educated, and when his brother died, his brother had been married to a lady named Catherine. She was Catherine of Aragon. Aragon is one of those provinces of Spain that we were reading about.
Aragon also Strider?
That's Aragorn.
But isn't he the son of Aragon?
No, Arathorn. That is okay.
Kind of close.
Aragon is a region of Spain, and Catherine's nephew. This is really important. Listen to me. Catherine's nephew was Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor. The guy we talked about 2 weeks ago that I said, oh, remember him because he'll pop up again. He's the guy who spoke, I don't know, like German to his horse and French to the ladies, and he was in charge of the Netherlands and Spain, and he was king of Germany, and he was the Holy Roman Emperor. It's that Charles. This is his Aunt Catherine. She's got powerful family. And Arthur was married to her. Well, Arthur died, and Henry married her. Now, this isn't cool to marry your in-laws. They're not really related, right? She was just married to his brother, and then his brother died, and she married him. But the important thing to remember here is that it wasn't cool anymore with the church to do that, so he had to ask for special permission. Does that make sense? And you can ask the Pope for special permission to do something that's not always allowed. But he wanted to marry Catherine, keep her in the family. And the Pope said, yes, you may marry her. I mean, it's his sister-in-law, right? They're not related in any way. So he married her. Okay. Put that on the back burner of your brain, but don't lose it. Let it simmer back there. So Henry takes over. He's married to Catherine. She's the aunt of the Holy Roman Emperor. She's got land in Spain. England has become very powerful. And he appointed really, really good ministers of state. One of them was Cardinal Wolsey. He's a cardinal. He's a cardinal of the church. He was a bishop, then he was made cardinal. And a visitor from Venice said he rules, that Cardinal Wolsey rules the king and the kingdom. On my first arrival in England, he used to say to me, His Majesty will do so-and-so. Then by degrees he forgot himself and commenced saying, we shall do so-and-so. At this present, he has reached such a pitch that he says, I shall do so-and-so. Henry spent freely the money his father had left. And Wolsey was hard put to it to raise more. He had to keep raising money, but that's not really what the problem was. The problem eventually was Catherine just wasn't having enough children. She had a daughter named Mary. She didn't have a son. So I'm going to tell you what Henry said, and then I'm going to tell you what Henry did. What Henry said was, I think that Catherine is not having children because it was wicked that I married her, because she's my sister-in-law. Who gave him special permission to marry her? If that was wrong, then who was wrong? The Pope. This makes the Pope look bad. Pope's not going to say, yeah, that was a bad call. You shouldn't have married her. But Henry started saying, I think this is a judgment. That's what Henry said. Here's what Henry did. He started hanging out a lot with a lady named Anne Boleyn, one of the ladies in waiting, one of the court ladies, and fell in love with her, and they started having an affair, and he wanted to marry her. Okay, which one is true? Probably both. I don't know that it's just a made-up. We can't bring Henry VIII in and ask him today. Did you just make that up about it being a sin to marry your sister-in-law just so you could get, marry someone else? Or did you really believe that? We don't know. But he said, I need a divorce. Now, here's another thing that everybody today doesn't know. Yes.
Catholics didn't allow divorce.
Yeah, you didn't get divorces. Even today in the Catholic Church, you have to have an annulment. You have to have special dispensation. You don't have to live together, but you can't get a formal divorce without permission, okay? So you have to ask the church. So he asked the church, and the church said, nah, because, they're the ones who gave him permission to marry her in the first place. Also, take that thing off the back burner and bring it forward. Who is Catherine's nephew?
King Charles.
Yes, it was king and also the Holy Roman Emperor. Does he want his aunt dissed by Henry VIII? No. He is going to pull every string imaginable to make sure he doesn't get that divorce and throw his aunt out. That's not happening. So, Cardinal Wolsey, his chief minister, Henry's chief minister, was put in charge of getting that divorce. You need to pull some strings. You need to put the pressure on and get that divorce. Cardinal Wolsey couldn't get it done. And actually, I just blew up the next question, but this is fine. How did he earn Henry's anger? He didn't get the divorce. Henry basically threw him out and replaced him. Is he sounding not as nice as he seemed at the beginning already? Mm-hmm. He is to me too. Cardinal Wolsey got ousted, and basically they were charging him with treason, which was punishable by death. He was ill. He had left London, and they summoned him to London to be tried for treason, and he was on the way, and he got sick, and he stopped at an abbey, and he died there.
Oh, poor guy.
I know. He died there disgraced. And this is interesting. He felt really bad about something on his deathbed. Here's what he said. If I had served God as diligently as I have done the king, he would not have given me over in my gray hairs. However, this is the just reward that I must receive for my worldly diligence and pains that I have had to do him service. Cardinal Wolsey on his deathbed said, you know what I think I did? I think I forgot who I was supposed to serve most. And I did anything the king wanted, or I tried to do anything the king wanted, rather than what God wanted. And so, here I am. Well, this belongs to another chapter, but so that it all makes sense, I will tell you, and we will revisit this. Henry decided that the way to get his divorce was to basically say, I'm in charge of the church. If I were in charge, I could give myself a divorce. And so he did. And this was the beginning of the Church of England, the Anglican Church, which was in most respects Catholic, just with no pope. Imagine a Catholic church with no pope, where the king is kind of like the pope. That's the Anglican church. That's not completely accurate, but it's close enough for now. Anne didn't have a child fast enough to suit him, and so he had her beheaded for adultery. And then he married another lady named Jane. Is Jane Seymour? She had a son, Edward, and then she died. And then he got married again. I lose track of the names of the ladies, and he had her beheaded. No, he divorced her. And then he married another one that he beheaded. And then he married another one. Yeah, Anne of Cleves. Anne of Cleves. The last one, Henry died before she did. This is the famous portrait of Henry VIII by Hans Holbein, who you'll be reading about.
His fifth wife was like 15. He was 49.
Yeah. Except it wasn't as strange then. I mean, maybe it was strange, but it was a normal thing for older men to marry much younger women. And it was also normal for teenagers to get married, teenage women to get married. It just was. We might not like it or think it was a good idea, but today it would be weird or illegal, and it wasn't then. We will revisit Henry and his children when we talk about the Reformation in England. Mary, who was very Catholic, Edward, who was Protestant, and Elizabeth, the other daughter that he finally had, who just trying to keep the peace, basically, and keep people from killing each other. All right. Okay. Also in this chapter was discussed some economic troubles, and one of them is enclosures. What were enclosures, and what was the problem with them? What were they enclosing? They were enclosing sheep. They were enclosing pasture land for sheep. They weren't actually enclosed. Like little cages for the sheep, because that seems mean, but in another way. All right. They were enclosing land for sheep. Well, what's wrong with that? We don't want the sheep to wander away. What's wrong with enclosing land for the sheep? Don't sheep deserve grass?
But maybe like hogging all the sheep or hogging all the land?
Oh, hugging all the land. Because what else do people like to do with land? Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. It was mentioned in this chapter, but it's common sense. Think about it. Say you have 50 acres of land. A fair amount of land, even if you can't picture 50 acres. It's a fair amount of land. And you're going to farm it. And you remember, you don't have machinery, right? You just have hoes and plows that are pulled by oxen, and you have to go out with a scythe and cut it all down. Can one person farm all of that? No. Could just two people farm it?
No. Maybe like in a long time.
Yeah, well...
By the time the season's over, they won't.
Well, but see, you don't have a long time, do you? Because when stuff is ripe, you got to cut it down. You can't wait around. When it's time to harvest, you got to harvest. This is what we know this, because this is why you see combines working at night. Sometimes, that's when they have headlights on combines, right? And if you're driving around in the evening in the fall, sometimes you'll see combines still out in the field. Because when you got to do it, you got to do it. So you're going to need a team of people to plant, to hoe, to weed. How many people does it take to take care of 100 sheep?
One shepherd.
one guy out there, and then maybe you get your friends together if it's shearing time. Just a few people can take care of a ton of sheep, but not just a few people can farm that same amount of land. All right, so you come along, Julia has come along with her sheep herd, and she and Katya are going to, and they've bought out, you guys are all farmers. You all farmed, it was your family. It's your family. You're all siblings and it was your family farm. And you go out there and you work and you just barely get by, but you grow enough food for yourselves and to sell and everything. And then they come and like, oh, we've bought your land and we're going to enclose it all and put sheep on it. So good luck. Have a good life. Hope things go well for you.
Yeah.
Those two have just put all of you and your parents and your cousins out of work. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do now?
You go work on their sheep farm.
Well, they don't need you.
Yeah, we don't need you.
They don't need you.
We don't need you.
Sheep are easy. They're stupid, and unless they wander away, and if you've got them enclosed, they won't wander away. Where are you going to go, Bryn?
We meet on the land.
Gonna
We
go
sneak
to
out the land and then we
London
kill
to
them.
protest.
Oh, they're gonna kill us.
Bryn is going to go to London. Now, probably not protest because someone will, punch you out or throw you in prison. But what might there be for you in London? Jobs. I'm going to go to the city because maybe there will be jobs there. Maybe I can be a servant in a household. Maybe I can work at the blacksmith's forge. Maybe I can light this was before lamplighters, but yes.
Get wool and process.
Oh yeah, I can work in a wool factory. Which, remember, just because they didn't have engine-powered machinery doesn't mean they didn't have machinery. It was just man-powered, right? So, okay, so multiply this by 100. There's 100 times 2 people have just come in and bought out a farm and enclosed the land and thrown you all out of work, and you all went to London looking for work.
There may be a lot of people in London.
And yes, and are there enough jobs for all of you?
No.
No, so what happens to you now?
You have to go to Italy. You starve.
Well, but you don't have enough money to go to Italy.
You die.
Yeah, maybe you die,
Stop robbing banks.
or you start stealing.
Or you just start
Yes. London, the big cities become problematic because all these people are pouring in and they all want work, but there isn't enough work for them. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't seem like a mean thing. Oh, we're going to put sheep on this land, and it had consequences. Sometimes we make decisions and we don't see where they're going to lead. And so, I'm going to buy this farm and put sheep there because sheep are very lucrative. I can make a lot of money off the wool. I can make more money off that than I can farming. But they didn't think about the fact that now all of you guys are wandering around London, homeless, living in alleys and sleeping on the streets, eating out of trash cans and stealing, and then dying of some horrible disease or run over by a carriage. This was a sad story. This was a sad story. Oh my gosh. I'm so sad. Yes. Hey, guys, I can't hear Bryn.
like Oliver Twist from like Dickens.
Yes, yes. It becomes like a Dickens novel, except that's several hundred years later. Yes. Here was the way it was described by Thomas More, who we'll talk about later, who was Cardinal Wolsey's replacement under Henry VIII. He said, all their household stuff, which is very little worth, though it might well abide the sale, yet being suddenly thrust out, they be constrained to sell it for a thing of naught. You've got to sell all your stuff for a song, as they say, for nothing. And when they have wandered abroad till they be spent, what can they else do but steal, and then justly be hanged, or else go about begging? And yet then also they be cast in prison as vagabonds, because they go out about and work not, whom no man will set a work, though they never so willingly proffer themselves thereto. For one shepherd or herdsman is enough to eat up that ground with cattle. To the occupying thereof about husbandry, many hands were requisite. It's a very fancy way of saying what we just said. All right, this was a big problem that Henry was dealing with, and his son Edward. Okay, what did England lose in 1558, and why is this significant? Ben.
They lost the last controlled town in Spain.
The town of Calais. Calais is the town in France closest to England, right? It's the shortest distance across the English Channel. And it was the last thing in France from those 100 Years' War, the 100 Years' War, when England and France were fighting all the time. It's over. And England has no part of France anymore. This is 1558. Remember, in 1066, 500 years before, William the Conqueror came over, and France basically took over England. And then they fought, and they fought, and they fought, and finally, the King of England has nothing to do with France. He holds nothing in France. They're completely separate. All right. That is Tudor England, as they call it, because it was the family of Tudor, not tutor, like I am your tutor, but Tudor. For next week, I would like you to read chapter 7. Chapter 7 is something a little different. It's about books and printing. So we get a little break from all these kings and wars and problems. We get to talk about what books were printed and the invention of the printing press and whatnot. So read that for next week. And let us take a look at our writing and the Hobbit. I brought, not the Hobbit, Fellowship of the Ring. All right. We are going to start a new paper. Actually, we're going to write a whole paper. We're going to start it today. You're going to write it this week. And we are going to bounce back. I told you we would bounce back and forth between these literary analysis papers and the persuasive essay. Should someone do something, right? And you're going to persuade me of something, but there's going to be a twist this time that hopefully will make it a little more fun for you. All right? Get something you can write on. Get a blank page, piece of notebook paper. And your question is, should the ring, you know what, I am just going to bring this over to me. Oh, I just dropped my glasses on the floor. Oh, that's very tall. Should the ring be taken, thank you. You got it, Christian. To Mordor. Oh, dear. Well, we read the Council of Elrond chapter this week. And in this council, they debate this issue. And some people,
Long thing. It's like deciding
very
to
big,
go.
long thing. So here, I'm going to get just in here. Yes.
Do you mean, what do you mean?
As opposed to take it somewhere and hide it. Take it somewhere else. Keep it in Rivendell.
I mean,
Eat it.
it's safer. Maybe not safer. There's everybody who goes will risk dying.
Okay, let's start. Let's put a yes and a no column. Because we already have made some really good observations here. Okay, everybody, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Is that a yes or a no?
No.
It's a no.
That's a no. Very dangerous. I realize you ladies down there at the end might have trouble seeing. Katya, can you even see it all?
I move like this and then I can see.
Okay. Also, if you wanted, you can sit in those chairs back there. I mean, I realize you don't have a table to sit at, but you can sit back there. And Christian, if you have trouble, you can always move a chair over and sit so that we have rows. Can you see better there?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, okay. So it's very dangerous. Why is it very dangerous?
You can die.
Why? How are you going to die?
Going
Okay, okay, because orcs are chasing you.
You're going to a giant eyeball with a giant eyeball lives.
Okay, you're going, Mordor is dangerous.
I would see everything.
Yeah. Sauron, well, we'll see you.
Sailmon.
What?
Sailmon. Isn't Sailmon to
Saruman? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, okay, let's put that down. Saruman is watching, and one of the potential paths leads past Isengard, which is where Saruman lives. What other, that's pretty dangerous. Well, they don't know about that yet. They don't really know that he's going to be after him. But who's been chasing, the sniffing guys, who's been chasing them?
the Black Riders?
Black Riders. The Black Riders are out. The 9 are abroad. This seems very dangerous to me.
Get closer to the Mordor, there's those big black dragons that fly around with the Black Riders. We're not there yet.
The fell
Yeah, but
beasts.
if they go there, it's Mordor.
Yeah, but we don't know that at this point. What we're trying to do is, what do we know? We are at the Council of Elrond. What do we know? We do know all of this. We do know all of this.
It can only be destroyed by fire. So that's a yes.
Okay, just a second. I'll give you okay, so only
Destroyed from a
destroyed in the Cracks of Doom, which is where it was made, and that's in Mordor. And we know this how.
Gandalf found out the scroll.
Okay, Gandalf learned this.
And it says in the riddle thingy, the cracks of Mount Doom. I think.
I don't think it does. Also, did they ever try to destroy it? What did
I
they?
think Frodo tried to throw it in the
Yeah.
fire, but it was not his hand.
Frodo threw it in fire.
But it wouldn't go off.
Yeah, in fire, and nothing happened. So this point might be a little bit harder to support, but Gandalf learned this, and we could say Gandalf is very wise.
He turned into white.
Yeah, try not to tell us too much about stuff that's going to happen later. I know it's very hard, Ben. I know it's hard. Some people have not read it.
I'm just doing the movie.
All right, so that seems compelling on both sides to me.
Wait, the drink.
Oh, Julia. Yeah, Julia had something.
Right? I can't remember
Oh, I'm sorry.
what it was, though.
If it comes back, just blurt it out.
Okay.
Don't raise your hand or wait. Just blurt it out, no matter who's talking. Okay. One thing, when we're trying to think of reasons for something, one good thing to ask is, what do people have to say about it? And what is the consensus at the council? What do most people think is going to happen? It's going to have to be destroyed. So
Either way, it's like, it has to be destroyed.
we could say why the wisest people think it should be destroyed. And we just said there's only one way to destroy it.
Should have been destroyed.
Yes. But it's too late for that now. So. And who are some of these wise people that say so? Gandalf. Who's another wise person? Elrond. Do we have another wise person?
Wolford, that was at the meeting. I mean, I want to say they're wise.
Yeah. Does Gimli say, or does Gloin say that it should be destroyed?
He tries to destroy it with his axe.
No, not. It's in the movie.
That's so he's in the movie.
That's why it's really hard once you've seen the movie. Um, let's take a look at the Council of Elrond and see who else speaks. Um, oh, it's not another wise person. Okay, so we have Elrond speaks. Well, what Gloin does is warn them about the fact that there's danger up in the Lonely Mountain. You know, here's one thing. Does anybody remember what they refer to it as? What the ring is called in Gondor? Isildur's Bane. What's a bane? You say something is the what?
Like weakness or something?
If something's the bane of my existence, it means it's the thing that attacks me and haunts me. Desire for ice cream is the bane of my existence. Yes, Julia, do you got it?
No, it just went away.
Oh, I'm sorry, you should have said it. So they call it Isildur's Bane, which means it's like a curse. A bane is like a, here, let's add that. Bane equals curse. Do we all know who Isildur is?
The person in the beginning who needed to destroy it.
Well, there's more than that. Isildur is a Númenorian. He's a man, and he was from the island of Númenor, and he came, and his dad, Elendil, joined with an elven king named Gil-galad, and Elrond was there too. Elrond was marching with Gil-galad, and they marched to Mordor, and they had a big fight with Sauron. This was thousands of years ago, and they cut the ring off Sauron's hand. And Isildur, because Gil-galad died, and his dad Elendil died, but Isildur took this ring, and he, someone said maybe it should be destroyed. He said, no, I'm going to keep it as an heirloom of my house. And Gandalf even read a scroll that Isildur wrote, and he said, I bought it with a great price, and it is precious to me. It was already affecting Isildur. So that's what Isildur's Bane, because later Isildur was marching north, and he got attacked by orcs, and he put on the ring, and he tried to get away, but the ring has this habit sometimes of slipping off your finger at inopportune moments and revealed him, and he was killed by orcs, and the ring washed into the stream, and it was lost. So that's until, yes. Yes, Julia.
If like it stays, you could put Rivendell in danger if like they leave it there.
Okay.
Also, like if they don't destroy it, Sauron could like find it.
Oh, this is very good. You got a double. So it sounds like a yes and a no. Okay, so it sounds like two yeses. Okay, yeah. So wherever it stays, it will bring danger, we could say. Rivendell could be destroyed. That would be a bad thing because obviously it is a stronghold of resistance. Evil things, I think we heard that in The Hobbit, evil things do not come into this valley. They talked about giving it to Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, I think they also talked about. Did they put it like talk about throwing it in like a river?
But they thought that had happened. It was in the river, and Saruman, who'd been researching it, said, oh, that thing was washed out into the sea millennia ago, and it'll never be found. But all the while, he's looking for it. So Tom Bombadil, I'll just call him Tom B, would forget it, right? And then he'd just throw it out, and somebody would come take it.
Is that forget it or regret?
Would forget it. He would just forget he had it and lose it. Also, did you? Are they in Lothlorien? Did you read that part this week? No, the ring goes south. That's where. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Let's only use what we know. Where's another? Oh, if they went back to the Shire would also be destroyed. If Frodo went home, they've got no choices. What was the other thing you said, Julia?
I think I only said two. Well, I said.
No, you said wherever it stays there will be danger, and then you said something else.
Sauron could find it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sauron. Oh, that's a double. Let's do it. Sauron could get it. If they don't try to take it to Mordor and destroy it, Sauron could get it. He will take over. I know, that's why this is a double. He's evil. He's already tried to take over in the past. However, do you see this is also a no? Because if they head toward Sauron, all of this could happen. Does that make sense to you guys? I mean, it's a yes in that we've got to destroy it. It's a no in that, well, holy cow, we don't want to head to him. All right, what? Okay, let me stop and let you guys catch up with me.
So I have a question that I didn't understand really.
Yes.
How did they cut the ring off Mordor's finger? Or off of his
With a
finger?
sword.
They just with a sword.
No,
Like,
how
like-
is he visible?
He had a form.
I had armor.
He has form. He is, but while you guys catch up on this, he is a Maya. So here's the deal, and what I'm telling you is in the appendices of Return of the King. It's also in the Silmarillion, in case you ever want to know everything about early Middle Earth. The creator of Middle Earth is Iluvatar. Basically, he's God. And he has these lesser beings called the Valar. They are sort of angelic, right? And they helped him in creation, and they live in Valinor. They live across the sea in Valinor. The ones who chose to come down to Middle Earth, some of them just stayed with Iluvatar in basically what we would call heaven. Then there were a lesser, like the servants of the Valar. They're the Maiar. So it's like if they're, the principalities and powers, and then you have archangels and angels, okay, that sort of thing. Valar and Maiar are immortal, and they have power, but they have power to take on a shape. And Sauron, his name was Myron before he was bad, when he lived with the Valar, and he had the ability to take on a shape. When he lost the ring, Bryn, he lost the ability to take on the corporal shape because he put some of himself in the ring. What?
What if you do we know what
Just his like soul.
Yeah. I don't know. It just some sort of power. I don't think we should think of it as something tangible. It's something mystical that he's done. I think I mentioned this, any of you that are Harry Potter readers, it's a bit like Voldemort and Horcruxes, if that means anything to any of you. It's the same idea. Because, there are no new stories, really. People just have modifications. So this is a very strong reason, both ways. Okay, I wrote down some other stuff. Oh. What are the chances of them making it?
I mean,
They're not very high.
50-50.
They won't make it.
50-50, really? Yeah. They're going to go, a little band of 9 people are going to sneak in.
Well, they get
Sauron's
They're
not
not
really expecting
99.
them to.
Yeah, but you don't know that yet.
Sauron's not expecting them. He's out looking.
Okay, so let's
Element of surprise.
take this. Okay, let's go both directions.
Both directions, people.
Chances, their chances are slim, we'll say, as people say. If they're a small group, some of them are not very powerful. Now Gandalf is, Aragorn has strength of mind and body, but he's not got powers. Do you know what I mean? Boromir is also tough, but he's not got powers. He's just really strong and he's a good fighter. Legolas is good, but he's not got powers. Do you know what I mean? Gandalf is the only one they have with some sort of powers that could fight. And is the path going to be clear between Rivendell and Mordor?
No.
What's
Orcs.
orcs and
Black Riders.
Black riders?
Everything.
There are so many chances for them to get nabbed.
Look.
It is just hopeless sounding. Oh, and Sauron is looking.
Sauron is looking.
Is looking for them, looking for the ring. Looking for ring, we'll say. However, I'm running out of space. Can I erase?
Yeah.
Up at the top here. Will Sauron expect them to bring it there? No.
Definitely not.
So Sauron won't suspect.
Big guy.
Is that a big guy?
He can't imagine they won't use it. Right? It's the most powerful thing in Middle-earth. And whoever has it could become the ruler of Middle-earth. And because Sauron wants to be the ruler of Middle-earth, he thinks everybody wants to be the ruler of Middle-earth, right? Why would someone not want to take over? Why would somebody have the greatest weapon known to mankind and destroy it? No, they'd never do that. That's stupid. So he can't imagine they would use it, won't use it, won't be looking close to Mordor. I mean, he won't expect them to be close to Mordor. And he also is fixated on the Shire right now. And on Frodo. Well, that's not a good thing. Fixated on the Shire, we'll just say. It'll take him a while to figure out what they've done. Now, I just said that whoever has it could become the most important, powerful person. Why not use it? Isn't this Boromir's position? He says, what? Here, let me read. Because sometimes we confuse what he said in the movie. But let's find out what he really says. Go back to... okay. So Boromir came because they had a dream that told them to, something about Isildur's Bane, and to go to Imladris, which is the, here it is. Seek for the sword that was broken. In Imladris it dwells. There shall be counsels taken stronger than Morgul spells. There shall be shown a token that doom is near at hand. For Isildur's Bane shall awaken, and the halfling forth shall stand. So Boromir came and he said, we just want to know what this means. Just a second. I want to find, okay, this is, I may not be able to find it, guys, just a minute. Gandalf talks for a long time. You guys are being very patient. Okay, I do not understand all this, he said. Saruman is a traitor, but did he not have a glimpse of wisdom? Why do you speak ever of hiding and destroying? Why should we not think that the great ring has come into our hands to serve us in the very hour of our need? Wielding it, the free lords of the free may surely defeat the enemy. That is what he most fears, I deem. The men of Gondor, guys, stop talking. The men of Gondor are valiant, and they will never submit, but they may be beaten down. Valor needs first strength, and then a weapon. Let the ring be your weapon. If it has such power as you say, take it and go forth to victory. Alas, no, said Elrond. We cannot use the ruling ring. That we know now too well. It belongs to Sauron and was made by him alone and is altogether evil. Its strength, Boromir, is too great for anyone to wield at will, save only those who have already a great power of their own. But for them, it holds an even deadlier peril. The very desire of it corrupts their heart. Consider Saruman. If any of the wise should with this ring overthrow the Lord of Mordor, using his own arts, he would then set himself on Sauron's throne, and yet another Dark Lord would appear. And that is another reason why the ring should be destroyed. As long as it is in the world, it will be a danger even to the wise. For nothing is evil in the beginning. Even Sauron was not so. I fear to take the ring to hide it. I will not take the ring to wield it. Nor I, said Gandalf. All right. So, if no is, they could use the ring to defeat Sauron. Boromir says so. They have many strong people on their side, right? Gandalf, Elrond. But they can't use the ring. Why? Why can't they use it? Yeah, it's totally evil. Turns people evil. And what evidence do we have that it turns people evil? Gollum. It's another one.
My precious.
Sauron was already, yeah. Saruman. What happens to Bilbo when he asks for just to look at it? Well, no. But he got a mean look, a greedy look, a hungry look. A shadow passed over his face, and Frodo jumped back and grabbed, and Bilbo said, I'm sorry, I see now. I understand what's going on here. So here's what I want you to do. You have lots of material. I'm sure there's more. We've not exhausted the reasons here. Let's see if I wrote down anything else. I think we wrote down pretty much everything I wrote. I want you to argue for one side or the other, but here's how I want you to do it. I want it to look just like one of these 5-paragraph essays. But this time, you get to speak in the first person. You are at the Council of Elrond. You're going to be a person there. You can invent your own person. You can be an elf or a dwarf or whatever. You can make up an extra character.
So can I be like a half dwarf, half elf, half like hobbit?
Just make it believable.
Okay.
And you can't be half 3 things.
It will be. It will be.
You can give yourself a name.
Yeah.
And your introduction, listen, because you're not going to listen and then you're not going to do it. If you can't remember this, write it down. Your introduction is going to be introducing yourself. Hello, I am blah, 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 and I have come from whatever to speak to the council about what we should do. Yes?
What if we went, hello, my name is blah, 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 and I'm coming here for blah, 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 like we actually...
Oh, don't do that. Now, if you do not want to invent your own character, you can be a character from the book. You can be Gloin. You can be Gandalf. You don't have to make up a character. But I thought you might find it fun. And so if you do, give me your backstory. Just like Gloin gets up and he says, hey, the Black Riders, they came to the Lonely Mountain. They were saying, hey, don't you want to buddy up with us and be our allies? And we're like, no, we'll think about it. They're like, well, you better not think too long. And he told why he was there.
You invent like other people's opinions, like have a conversations with like.
Well, it's mostly going to be you speaking. Because to do this, it's going to need to be your speech. And then in your introduction, everything's the same. You're going to give me, I totally don't think we should take the ring to Mordor for these reasons. Blah, blah, and blah. All right?
So our introduction is going to be longer.
Your introduction may be a little longer, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to invent a long story for yourself. You say, my name is Galindel, and I am an elf from Lothlorien. You don't know about Lothlorien, though. I am an elf. I am a cousin of Legolas, and I've come here with Legolas because we are just worried about the darkness that's rising in our woods. You don't just be specific.
I was born.
Ben, yeah.
Point of it in what other people say, like Gandalf says this.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Gandalf says this, but, or I agree with Gandalf when he says da 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 da. You can say that. It's basically, guys, please stop talking and just listen to me for a minute. It's basically the same paper you've been writing like this, with the 3 paragraphs, with the 3 reasons, and there's 3 supports for each reason. But it's like you're talking. It's like you're giving a speech. The only real thing that changes is the introduction, because you're going to introduce yourself, and the conclusion where you say, you can say, I need you to do this because you will help my people that are living in fear in wherever. All right? Do you understand what I'm going for? Yes.
It's like you're writing a letter to them.
No, you're standing up and giving a speech in the council. You're standing up in the council of Elrond and you're giving them your opinion. Just like those other people stood up and gave their opinions. Do you understand? And I want you to include your P1, P2, strong verb, alliteration, simile, and mark them. Mark them.
I already have a list.
Are we good with this? Yeah. Okay. This would be, it's another one of these papers, but it'd be kind of fun, because you can have a little fun with it. What is the deal? Who is Saruman, and why in the world did he capture Gandalf?
Basically, he's on the bad side.
Does he know he's on the bad side? Does he want Sauron to have the ring?
No.
Yeah, he wants it. He wants it. He says to Gandalf, just a second. I'm going to read this. A couple of other things too. Saruman is exhibit A, perhaps, of what can happen to you when you get a hold. I mean, he doesn't have the ring. He just wants it. He says, he used to be Saruman the White, and he says, now I'm Saruman of many colors. I liked white better, said Gandalf. White, he sneered. It serves as a beginning. White cloth may be dyed. The white page can be overwritten, and the white light can be broken. In which case it is no longer white, said I. And he that breaks a thing to find out what it is has left the path of wisdom. So he says, listen, Gandalf, my old friend and helper, a new power is rising. You can join me. Against it, the old allies and policies will not avail us at all. There's no hope left in elves or dying Numenor. This is the one choice before us. we may join with that power. It would be wise, Gandalf. All right. Elrond introduces the council, and he says this: "You have come and are here met in this very nick of time, by chance as it may seem. Yet it is not so. Believe rather that it is so ordered that we who sit here, and none others, must now find counsel for the peril of the world." He says it seems like chance, but it is not so. Where did we hear that last week? Where did we hear someone say, "Oh, it seems like chance, but it is not so"? Well, that's what I just read. But last week we talked about someone saying something I don't think it happened by chance. I think there are powers at work that.
Oh, that gave Bilbo the ring.
Yeah, that gave Bilbo the ring, and then it came to Frodo. And here we have that idea again. I don't think this is just chance.
How about when Tom Bombadil came along?
Right, just in the nick of time, as it seemed, by chance. So here's Elrond's last answer, maybe, to they don't have strong people with them. "The quest may be attempted by the weak with as much hope as the strong. Yet such is oft the course of deeds that move the wheels of the world. Small hands do them because they must, while the eyes of the great are elsewhere." And it doesn't get much smaller than a hobbit. Not just in size, but in importance. And so they have set out. I want you to finish Fellowship of the Ring this week. Oh, and I wanted to point out to you, so in your copy, I know it probably doesn't look like mine, but in most copies of Return of the King, there are appendices. There are family trees and whatnot. And one of them, it is Appendix E, writing and spelling. There is Elvish.
I'm knowing that.
There are dwarf runes. And various words. There's all the rules of pronunciation. Everything is back there, and then there's Appendix F is a history of the languages and peoples.
So I could learn Elvish.
Yeah. There is actually a book, my daughter has it. It's called The Languages of Middle-earth. It's a little red book, and my daughter can write things in Elvish and translate things into Elvish. So yes, it's a learnable language with its own grammar and everything. But anyway, because you're going to, in the reading for this week, they're going to encounter a door with Elvish letters on it, and they're going to go in a place with dwarf runes that are printed. So grab your Return of the King and look in the back if you want to, and you will see all sorts of stuff. Also, remember that most of your books, presumably all of your books, have a map, maybe at the beginning or the end. You should have a map somewhere in your book, really. There are many maps of Middle-earth available online. And you can follow their route as they travel, and you can kind of get a feel for where they are and where the Shire is and everything. So it's really fun to do that, and it gives you a feel for what's going on. Okay, so let's recap. You're reading chapter 6, 7 in Dorothy Mills about printing and reading. You are finishing Fellowship of the Ring, and you are writing a persuasive essay, but you're writing it as if you are at the Council of Elrond trying to persuade them. Yes?
So we're reading chapter 6 and 7.
No, we read 6 for today. I just said the wrong number. Just read whatever's next in your reading guide and what's in the...
Kristen,
Yes.
Why are you so bright not? You said 6, 7.
Because I am not a slave to stupid whims that are currently happening that 6 months from now no one will even remember. Because I like to pay attention to things that last.
Actually, 7.
No, it actually
So I can freely use it because it means nothing to me except 2 numbers. As it should to you. Okay, that's my little speech, my mom's speech of the day. All right, thank you guys. I will see you next week.